What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Land Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Sledz. With me, as always, Titan Mike Kessinger.
What's up, Kev?
Not much. We got some new decor.
Yeah,
for the studio.
I had to work before that show, man. To hang up some stuff.
I know.
We got a Browns helmet up there, signed by some guy named Jim Brown.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see from this distance. It's kind of glossy with the light, but it's a Jim Brown autographed retro helmet.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on after the show.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna feel like the era.
Then we got a Greedy Williams autographed Browns.
That was her
jersey.
last week.
Yeah.
But then we got the Dobbins.
And the new addition to J.K. Dobbins, white Ohio State jersey.
Hopefully soon you'll get your
we'll have a
blackout Dobbins
Denzel Ward helmet. So.
And then two minis.
Yeah.
We might bring up on the show.
Yeah, we got some more.
Just some football stuff.
More stuff.
It's not Browns, but that opens the floodgates if we bring those. Could have an autographed Eddie George football.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. And two autographed Titans jerseys and a hat. You know. But my stuff's not allowed down here because it's a little
it's a Cleveland
podcast.
So we got another big show tonight. In about 7 minutes, we've got author Alex Harnocz will join us to talk about his new book, The Perfect Season Project, an uncommon arrangement of Cleveland Indians history. And if you're a Cleveland Indians fan, this is definitely a must-have.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty interesting book. Like I'm a huge Cleveland sports fan besides the Browns, right? Like that's just who I am. Do I follow baseball as probably as close knit as you do? No,
probably not.
But I was reading some of them, and it's very, very interesting. And some of the stuff you don't know, like, because some of the stuff's from the early 1900s. And
right.
You're like, what? And
then there's a lot of stuff, wins I didn't remember. I mean, going back, like, oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was an awesome game.
Oh yeah, like there's a lot of stuff in there. Like we each picked 3 games.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the 3 we picked, and then I'm sure Alex has some of his favorites from the book.
Yes.
And he'll talk about the whole concept and how it came about. And
yeah, we'll ask. We're probably not going to be a big Q&A like last week.
Right.
But we'll ask him, maybe a couple questions like how and why, and how much time and effort actually went into it. Because you got to think, it's not just right now.
Well, this had to take long. I know he had a spreadsheet. I'll let him explain it, but the way he came up with it.
A fiction book, like, some science fiction or horror,
right.
You can just kind of fly by the seat of your pants, and just make it up as you go.
Oh, yeah.
This is all factual, so there's how much research, time, and energy went into finding
this had to take a lot of time.
The perfect game, because there's probably multiple Game 32s that they won through the course of Cleveland history.
And you got to go through all of those.
And you got to find out which one was the best.
Right.
And
I noticed, going through some of the book, that he does have some honorable mentions for some of the games.
Some of the games, yes.
So we'll ask him about those, too.
It's probably really hard for him to,
yeah. Without a doubt.
He probably flipped a coin. To be honest with you, he flipped a coin and was like, you know what? I got nothing. And they okay, you won. So but it's a cool book. We each got he gave us emails how to copy to prepare it, and we also have a PDF file, but we're not going to share that because it takes away out of his pocket.
Yeah, we got a little copy of the cover of the book over in the corner of the live feed.
I recommend, like Kevin said, if you guys are huge diehard Indian fans, like I have a couple of them. Then I'm gonna recommend this book too. It's a great bathroom read. I mean, did you break it?
Oh, it's back.
You broke it?
Yeah, we had a little interruption.
But it's a great bathroom read book. I mean, to be honest with you, just read a couple games, and then next time you get to drop a deuce, read a couple more games.
Yeah, he should be calling in here at about 8:15 or so.
Yeah, we'll see. The phone will ring, and then we'll do our thing. But
yeah. So you see the Indian schedule came out, their new 60-gamer. Well, this year's came out earlier this week, and then today they announced the opening day is April 1st for next season for 2021. We open up in Detroit. I can't remember when the home opener was or who it was against.
I said it was the 8th.
I'm pretty sure it was the 8th, somewhere around it. Oh, we got a caller. I think this might be Alex. Let's see. Welcome to Land Sports Podcast. Who are we talking to?
This is Alex.
This is Alex. Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Great.
So this is Alex Harnocz. He is the author of The Perfect Season Project, an uncommon arrangement of Cleveland Indians history.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kevin, Mike. How are you doing?
We're doing great. Glad to have you on.
Pretty good.
So I guess you want to start out just kind of talk about the concept, how you came about making this book, and I'm sure it was very time consuming looking at the book and everything that's gone into it. Can you just kind of explain everything that went into it and how you started it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it started out with sort of a trivia question. You hear the broadcaster at the beginning of the game, whether it's baseball or basketball or not so much football, but the ones that have a lot of games in their season, often you'll hear the broadcaster sort of timestamp the beginning of the game. This is game 1 of 2020. We'll hear in a couple weeks here.
Right.
And I had this discussion with my father a couple times. I said, do you think that they've won every game in history over the course of 120 years? Like, wouldn't it be weird if for some reason the Indians never won game 34 or something like that? So I sat down one day and I pulled the win-loss records for like the winningest seasons, 1920, 48, 54, 97, and I laid them all against each other, and I found out that they have in fact won every game throughout the course of history, game 1 through game 162. MLB's been on a 162-game schedule since back into the 50s, somewhat fewer before that. But like I said, the Indians have won every game, 1 through 162, at some point in their history. So the question that sort of followed from that was, okay, if they've won every game, you could rearrange history to make the perfect season. And what would make it more perfect than if something interesting, historic, memorable, or odd happened in every one of those games? So what I did essentially was set up a 162-row spreadsheet, and I started working through Indians history and picking out a game 1, a game 2, a game 3. Finding those conflicts. It's crazy. Some of the things that happened on the same game,
right.
And there were others where we really had to dig deep and, mine 12 decades of tribe history to find something worth talking about.
Wow.
So my question, when you set up that spreadsheet and you're picking these games, game 1, game 2, how many games throughout, I'm assuming all, but how many games had multiple games that you can choose from? And then how did you end up picking the right game for game 1?
So I would say probably 40% had pretty significant conflicts, and that starts out right with game number 1. So if you take right off the top of your head greatest opening games, you've got 94 at Jacobs Field. Randy Johnson takes a no-hitter deep into the game, goes to extra innings, won on a walk-off. But you also have Bob Feller with the only opening day no-hitter in baseball history. Mm-hmm. And so, overall, what I did was get the whole thing charted out, make sure that every game had an entry, and then try to balance sort of the eras and the the new and the old, the popular stories that everyone knows and the deep cuts. And what you sort of end up with, at least my hope is, this is sort of a primer on Indians fandom. You span the whole history, you get a lot of the stories, you get the cool people, and it's, you guys in your intro said it was a great bathroom read. I've said that as well. That you pick it up, you open it to any page, and you learn something that maybe you didn't know or that you had forgotten.
Exactly. It's not something where you have to start at the beginning and work to the end. Like, you can, that's how I've been reading it. I was like, I read a couple in the beginning, and then I put it down, then I was like, I don't know where I left off. So I just kind of like fingered through it, and boom, I was like, oh, let's read this one. I didn't read this one. I don't know anything from the 30s. So, and that, I've just kind of been picking and choosing which games I want to read, and that's what I think makes it so unique and such a great read, that it's, no matter where you leave off, it's a new story. You don't have to worry about remembering what you just read. And it's books like this that keep bringing me back to it. And that's why I greatly appreciate you sending us a copy, because I'm like a third of the way, and I'm learning things about the Indians I had no idea about, to be honest with you. I appreciate it.
So, yeah, thank you. That's the goal.
One thing interesting I read, that you said this originally was supposed to be a Cavaliers 82-game perfect season. What made you end up going away from that and switching over to the Indians?
Well, So like I said, it's something that my father and I had discussed a long time ago, and he's a lifelong Cavs fan. He had a partial season ticket package when they opened up at the arena down in 1970.
Oh wow!
And that was sort of he was going to mine his knowledge for a lot of that. And when I went to look at the feasibility of doing that and fact checking it, just the positive knowledge with old newspaper clippings, and I can't say enough about baseballreference.com. Like this book would not be possible without that database.
Yeah, that is a great site.
Yeah, and so the availability of information related to baseball going back to the beginning of time is incomparable. A lot of the early NBA stuff is lost or questionable. And it just seemed like even though there were more games in number, there was just more meat on the bones there.
Gotcha.
So what made you decide to just stop at the perfect regular season and not carry it out to ultimately give Cleveland its new World Series title? Because we haven't seen one since '48. So the book could have gave Cleveland Indians fans that a little slimmer of hope that, you know what, it's real, but it's not real, but here you guys go anyways. What made you stop at the regular season?
I had considered it, two things that sort of a practical and an emotional answer to that. The practical answer is that those playoff stories, because there's only a handful of them for the Tribe, have been told. If you read baseball books, you've read about the 54 Indians, you've read about the 48 Indians. You don't need me to tell you again.
True.
The emotional reason is that I started this really in earnest in 2016, and if Game 7 had gone the other way, I probably would have carried it out like that. But with it going the way that it did, I decided just to stick to the 162.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. It's because it could what could have been situations probably best left untold. But
yep.
So we each picked a couple games we'd like to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. These things that you guys have memories of, or any that you were at.
There's
not so much. I remember watching. I was never at them. I didn't go to many games, and I was 6 years old when one of them happened. So
he's a young pup.
I'm 33. I'm not that young.
Compared to me, you are.
It's not my fault. You were born in the Great Depression. But no, I picked Game 32 in your book. It's Kluber shaves his beard. That one stuck out to me because, one, I have a glorious beard, and anyway that shaves it, I shed a tear. But two, he was pulled in the 8th inning, because his no-hitter was broken up by an ex-Indian, and
Johnny Peralta.
Yep, exactly. He was pulled from the game, and he could have had the 19 strikeout. One more strikeout ties their franchise record. 2 more, he owns it. And the likelihood of Kluber probably taking at least tying the record is pretty good with being Kluber back then. And just the pure dominance he showed for that month after he shaves his beard made this game stick out to me. Like, it's just ridiculous. And plus the amount of innings he pitched. Like, if you look at the record, like, he actually, if he'd have, what was it? You said it was the record was 12. He had 12.5 in 9 innings, and McDowell was 12.35 because of the amount of games played. So in theory, he should own it, but he doesn't. Technicality. But I don't know. That's one of the games. Yeah,
that one inning really made a difference in retrospect. He went on to have that incredible month of 4 or 5 starts put together with all these strikeouts. And you're right, with that one extra inning and a couple more strikeouts in that first game, he'd probably own a couple more Indians records. This game tied Feller for strikeouts in 9. He was one behind Louis Tiant for strikeouts in a game, and again that K's over 9 number that McDowell owns would probably all be Kluber's if only they kept him in the game.
Yeah.
But Cody Allen came in, shut him down, and carried on.
Yeah, it was just, it's that what if mentality for Cleveland. That's what, for a reason, Cleveland fans, we live on that what if.
Right.
And this is one of those what ifs that's not not an end goal, it's not a season goal, a Super Bowl or a World Series. It was just a record that more than likely would have been tied because Kluber probably had enough stuff left in his arm during that game to make that record, in my opinion. But, they don't want to, it's their ace and they don't want to risk injury, so I get it, but it just, it's that, like I said, that what if factor just lingers over Cleveland forever and ever.
Right.
Truly.
All right, so the first one I picked was Game 73, which was July 18th, 1995. That magical 95 season when there were so many memories, so many walk-off home runs. This is one of the ones that sticks out to me the most. It was, of course, Albert Bell's walk-off grand slam off Lee Smith on a 1-2 pitch. Mm-hmm. Just, it was one of the most incredible moments I've ever experienced as an Indians fan. Jim. Yeah, Albert's. He had struck out Jim Thome. Albert Bell comes up. Smith gets 2 quick strikes on him. Close third pitch that could have been called strike 3, and then the next pitch he hits the slider 425 feet over the center field wall.
Yeah, all those Albert Bell moments were just so electric. From that team. He's one of my favorite Indians of all time.
Mine as well.
So undervalued.
The legend, but also everything in between the lines,
right,
was truly a unique personality, and somebody that gave that team the character and the stories that compelled the whole city to fall in love with them.
Right.
There have been plenty of good Indians teams, but that team was full of personalities, and Albert Bell was chief among them for sure.
Oh, definitely.
I'm not really gonna go into another game because I don't want to give the book away to a bunch of people, but I think the most memorable game, or not game, but most memorable situation in this book for me would be the groundbreaking for Jacobs Field. When they switched from the municipal stadium to Jacobs Field, that stadium was so, I don't know, it was a lifeline of Cleveland when it was built. And just it opened up the Carnegie and every downtown to such you're coming off the freeway, it's like boom right there. It's a welcoming thing. Couldn't be in a better location, and such memories. And I still call it the Jake. I don't progressive field or whatever you want to, like. I don't do that. I don't play those games. It's forever will be the Jake. And but like I said, I don't want to get too much of this book away because it's a great read and I don't want to spoil it. But I was going to ask you a question. And how should I word this? And I lost my train of thought. Damn, we're horrible co-hosts. Like weird. This is why we don't do this professionally. All right, I'll tell you this right now. This is why we make no money at this. Kevin, go. I'm like I said, I'm drawing.
All right, well, we'll get back to that. Here. So you asked about games that we maybe attended that we had memories of. Well, mm-hmm. I have one that I was supposed to attend, and I had tickets. I had to work early the next morning. I'm talking about the impossible comeback against Seattle, down 14-2.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I had tickets, and of course it was an ESPN Sunday night game, so it started a little later than normal. And
mm-hmm.
I had to work early, didn't want to go, so I gave the tickets to my uncle and my cousin. And they ended up going. I ended up watching it on TV and then regretting my decision. But my uncle wanted to leave, and my cousin begged them to stay, and they ended up staying for the whole thing. And of course, we all know what happened.
Oh, that's wonderful.
One of the most incredible comebacks in Major League history, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So my personal memory of this, and there's a few of these mixed throughout the book. That's one of the great things about baseball is everybody's got a personal connection, whether it's you were someplace doing something, listening on the radio, or you were in the stands for this moment. For the impossible comeback, I was in high school, and my girlfriend was hosting an exchange student. This girl was over for the summer from Estonia, this little Baltic republic, that had just split off of Russia. Had never seen baseball before, had no idea, not even any like cricket context. I don't know what they play in Estonia, but it has nothing to do with baseball. And so they had been hyping this game. Like you said, it was Sunday night baseball. The Mariners were, the winningest team in history, on pace to be at that point. And we said, this is the day. We're going to sit down and teach this girl about baseball. And for about 3 hours, we sat and said, that's not supposed to happen. This isn't the way that this normally works.
Right.
Because, it's just this onslaught of Seattle offense, and then, of course, the Indians' impossible comeback, through the late innings there. And, the between-the-lines story of that game is that basically all the starters came out of that game when they were down 12-0, except for Kenny Lofton.
Right.
And he ends up, of course, getting key hits and coming around to score the winning run. And, had some great quotes, which are included in the book, but basically boiled down to he thinks he had a girlfriend in Seattle that he wanted to impress.
Nice. I think the funny part of that game, too, was it seemed like every time the Indians scored a run on their comeback, they'd show Lou Piniella in the dugout just squirming.
Oh, yeah. In preparation for this, I watched some of it again. It's the ESPN Classic version is up on YouTube, and everybody should go and revisit that, before we get a start to the season here. It's wonderful.
Right.
All right, so
do you remember what you were going to say now?
Yeah, sure. See, I just needed a break with a minute, take a drink, and it's a two-parter. So if you could pick one, I know it's horrible, one game out of this book that you think everybody that buys this book, or everybody that gets this book in possession, one game that they need to read, or they should read, what would it be and why?
Now that is a tough question, but I would say
that's what I'm here for.
My favorite stories in this book are the ones where outside forces affect the baseball game. And so maybe that's because of our yeah, there you go.
Rain delay.
the infamous rain delay. Maybe it's because of our current moment with outside forces around the world affecting. We're going to play a 60-game baseball season for the first time ever in a couple weeks here, hopefully. But these sort of outside forces games, and the one that blew my mind reaches back pretty far into history, and it's Game 21. So this is Game 21 from 1930. And the Indians were scheduled to play the A's, who were still in Philadelphia at the time. Connie Mack and the great dead ball era A's team. And the American League had scheduled them a full weekend series, Friday to Sunday. And it was illegal to play baseball in Pennsylvania on Sundays because the Quakers and very conservative forces still, small c conservative forces were in control in Pennsylvania. And the state had threatened to pull the charter and the incorporation of the A's if they played baseball on Sunday. So they play the Saturday game and have this big discussion about what they should do, and the teams jump on an overnight train from Philadelphia back to Cleveland to League Park to play the Sunday game. The A's play as if they're the home team, but in League Park, and it's a huge crowd because they were the defending champions. All the stars were on the Philadelphia team, so this huge crowd shows up to League Park, and it's so full that they start seating people on the field outside the foul lines.
Oh, wow.
And the manager of the Indians says the ground rules at League Park say that if you hit one into the fans on the field, it's a ground rule double. So the tribe goes up and starts trying to hit ground rule doubles into the crowd outside the foul line. They end up hitting 7 ground rule doubles and just beat the champion A's around, and they won 22-7.
Oh, wow.
It was a bit of a sloppy game. You could tell the guys were up all night on the train. But just like these outside forces and then the fans coming in, it's just such a cool baseball story.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
All right, so with that being said, if you could, so this is not going to be as hard. There's no picking a game, but if you were to say one thing about your book to the readers and possible readers of why they should get it, what would you want to say to them? So like your chance, I guess, to tell them why they should pick this book up or why it's a must-have for those true Indians fans.
Yeah, for sure. So, I think this is again a book for fans of all generations. If you're somebody who's been watching the tribe for 60 years, you're going to have a lot of memories in this book. If you're somebody who has just picked up baseball or you're younger, you're going to learn a lot of the references. You're going to learn a lot of the history. You're going to learn a lot about the names that are hung up around the stadium that might be starting to get lost to history. And you're going to pick up a lot of I ascribe to the notion that weird baseball is best baseball, and there's a lot of weird baseball in here. There's stories about walk-off pass balls, walk-off balks. There's any kind of weather, any kind of strange thing that could happen in and around a ballpark has happened to the Indians in the last 120 years, and that's the story I've tried to tell in this book. So that's my pitch. It's available. It's available, of course, on Amazon, and it's available directly from me at perfectseasonproject.com. Either one of those is a great way to pick it up. I'd encourage your fans to grab one. Grab one for the uncle that you talk about baseball with 3 times a year when you see him at the holidays.
Yeah.
Grab one for your buddy or the dude down at the bar that loves weird baseball. It's a good journey.
Now we're in the technology age. Is there a digital copy available, or is that something that's in the works, or have you thought about that yet? Because with the smartphones being glued to our hands nowadays,
right?
Yeah, there's an ebook version available. That's strictly through Amazon.
Okay.
But the paperback's available on the website and at Amazon and most of the other big online retailers.
All right.
All right. So you're obviously a big Indians fan. Can't let you go without asking you, if we do have a season, what do you think their chances are in a 60-game shortened season?
It's going to be so cool, I think, to see how this plays out. And as someone who really likes to watch pitchers and good pitching, I think that the Tribe are pretty well positioned, as long as the starters can stay healthy, to make a good run at this.
I agree.
I think that strong starting pitching is going to be the key here, and that those guys will get to eat a lot of innings because they won't be limited by the long season.
Right.
So I'm excited for it.
I am too.
Cautiously optimistic.
One last thing. With this whole new name change coming to, possibly coming in light, and we may change our name, or they're looking into it, thinking about it. There's been some names thrown out there, like the Guardians, the Spiders, the Cleveland Rocks, the Fellers, even the Dobies. Have been thrown out there. What would you want to be the? I want it to not change. That's everybody's.
It seems like it's headed.
That's the consensus. Nobody wants to change, but it's going to be changed because it's a business that's going to be sold, and the next guy that owns it may not want to have that drama tied to the sale. So it's going to change. They might as well just get it done and over with. Pull like a Band-Aid, just rip it off and go. But if you could pick the name, which one would you go with?
I was not initially a Spiders fan. In looking at this book, I had to make a decision whether I was going to go back further in Cleveland baseball history. I decided to stick just to the American League team that was founded in 1901.
Mm-hmm.
But I did take a look at some of the Spiders records and things like that, and it always stuck in my mind that they were the worst team by winning percentage ever in 1899. But a couple years before that, they did win the championship of the sort of proto league that they were in back then, the early version of the National League. And so there's some history there. Cy Young pitched for the Spiders. When we talk about the history of the name Indians, Sock Alexis never played for the franchise that is the Indians. He was a Spider. And so I think that's probably my leader. But overall, I just hope it doesn't end up being some sort of goofy minor league thing. Something with a little dignity and gravitas for our wonderful 120-year-old franchise here is all I'm hoping for.
I see the Spiders, and I see it has a lot of weight and a lot of pull behind it. So I have a feeling that's what's gonna go to. The other one I like, but I don't want to. I like it. I think it's the Buckeyes. It's the salute the hat tip to the Negro League, a lot of history there. But if you call them the Cleveland Buckeyes, everybody that doesn't know, the history of the Buckeyes, is gonna think you just ripped it off the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's what they're gonna pull to. And I don't want that. I don't want that little asterisk on there. But I like the Guardians. I don't know why. I know it sounds a little bit XFL-y, arena football-y, but with the statues on the bridge, like, it would make a cool mascot. I just think that would flow with the Cleveland, it's the Guardians, it's the Guardians of the Lake, the Guardians of the City, why not the Cleveland Guardians? Like, that's something that has pool ties to the town, the city, the history, and it's not some foo-foo fucking spider. Like, I understand you can get bit and die, but, like, come on now.
Well, I've seen some, like, fan concept designs, too, of both the spiders and the Guardians.
Oh, you can make...
They've looked pretty cool. And
you can, like, there's a pool, like, one of the big pools of the spiders is, like, if we make it to, like, postseason baseball in October or Halloween, you can really do some really big things with the, the spiders there with Halloween, but if you make it there, I just think the Guardians has some of the most ties. It's not it's not baseball related, but it's city related, and I just think that would pull really well. I think that's a good name.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
I could get with that. I think that the Guardians of Traffic there on Lorraine Carnegie Bridge have really become a symbol for the rebirth and revitalization of the city. Yeah, and that would be a cool story to tell as well. You could turn that into something classy.
Of the team. Rebirth of Cleveland baseball.
Absolutely.
And the Guardians that are rebirthing the city and the Cleveland baseball. Everybody's gonna call it the Tribe. Everybody's gonna still call it the Indians. It's gonna happen. Like, just I have a jersey.
We are a stubborn people.
Yeah, I have a Lindor jersey, and I'm telling you, 10 years from now, if I go to the game, if I'm not fat and the jersey still fits me, I'll probably wear it if I haven't bought one yet. But honestly, I still have a Grady Sizemore jersey that I wore up until like 2 years ago when I bought the Lindor jersey. So that's how much I buy baseball jerseys, because especially in Cleveland, talent don't stay. Right. So I'm not wasting $80, $100 on a jersey for them to be here for 2 years. Like, oh yeah, this one don't work.
Yeah.
But it's always gonna be the Tribe. It's always gonna be the Jake. There's history there, and that book showcases it 100%. And like I said in the beginning, I appreciate the book. I appreciate the raid. I appreciate you coming out and telling us about it. If you ever decide to do a part 2 of the book, maybe playoffs included, or the Browns. The Browns' perfect season. That would be a real big thing for the city of Cleveland. That'd be a good book too. That'd probably be a bigger seller, to be honest with you, because this is a football town.
I've thought about doing the Browns forwards and backwards. Best 16 wins, worst 16 losses. I'd read that.
Well, the worst 16 losses literally is like 3 years ago. Like, they went 0-16. You don't need to write a book about that. That is fresh in Cleveland history. Trust me. But like the perfect season of Cleveland, that could be, because you can even probably get Jim Brown if you some of the games he played to give you some quotes and stuff. That would be real interesting, because he's a real big Cleveland supporter. So if you're writing a book about it, I'm pretty sure if you reach out to him, if he's still alive, it'd be the idea for your next book.
Got to think about what's next.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to, what are they called? What, an editor note?
Right.
I don't know what this, I don't write books. I barely read them. So what do they call, a footnote where you're mentioned in there?
Yeah.
That's what I want. Like, just just an idea. Throw that around there a little bit there, Alex.
There we go. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Alex, and good luck with the book sales. We're gonna keep promoting it for you. And,
we'll push it out there
to our fans and followers. And
there's like 4 of them, but we'll get it there.
No, we've got a few more.
Very good, very good. Well, thanks so much for your time, guys. I love chatting about this, and good luck with all that you do.
All right, we appreciate it. Keep in touch.
Thanks again.
All right.
Thanks again. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Bye now.
All right, that was Alex Harnocz, the author of Perfect Season Project, an uncommon arrangement of Cleveland Indians history.
It is
pretty cool stuff.
It is a really cool book, and I'm not just saying that because he was on the show.
Right. No, it
literally is a really cool, interesting read. Like,
very interesting.
Especially if you're one of those fringe fans, you're like, I only like them when they're good. Blah, blah, blah. I don't have time to do this. Well, these are small little stories. They're literally short stories, about 162 The best 162 games in Cleveland Indians history.
Well,
right?
like I told you before the show, like going through it, I'm seeing games that I forgot about. I mean,
and there's games
great games. I'm like, oh,
there's games like any game before, like I'm telling you, even you and me right now, any game before like 1970.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
Yeah, I started 86. I think was the first year I was 11.
I mean, we know players from those times. You know, like
right.
Feller and Adobe. Like we know players, but we don't know the games. Like we couldn't sit there and tell you this happened in this game or in this season or this year. I don't know that off the top of my head.
One of my first memories going back that far was the Carlos Martinez hitting the home run off Jose Canseco's head.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I think one of my earliest memories of being an Indians fan was watching Brooke Jacoby on third base.
Yeah.
Like, I was a huge Brooke Jacoby fan.
Yeah.
No idea. Some random fucking player. Dude, he's not even like a big name player. Like, he wasn't a...
Well, he was on Sports Illustrated. The cover, I think it was 88 or 89. They had him, Corey Snyder, and Joe Carter. The Indians were supposed to be the next big thing.
Yeah, but
they lost over 100 games.
He was just there because Joe Carter was there. He
hit 20, 30 home runs.
Yeah, I'm not saying he has good. Like, it was just the right place, right time for the Sports Illustrated cover. All right, but like, you all know why he was one of my biggest, one of my big favorite players when. Yeah. And that's one of the earliest memories. I remember being at a game on the third base sideline, watching this guy take ground balls and whatever, practicing it in between innings and just watching him play. And I remember another game. I can't remember the game, but I remember driving to Pittsburgh to watch an Indians-Pittsburgh Pirates game, all decked out in my dad in Indians gear. Yeah. Pirates fans didn't care because there's no rivalry there. It's not like the Steelers and Browns. Like, they were just like, oh, it's baseball. Bought my dad a beer, bought me a hot dog. Random Pirates fan. It's just.
Yeah, I meant to mention this too when Alex was on. Like, back in the late 80s, early 90s, I lived like 15 minutes from the stadium in Cleveland. So I used to go with my grandpa to a bunch of games. And I'd wait out in the players' parking lot. And there's no security, nothing. I mean, players that come out, I have a whole binder of signed baseball cards by all these obscure Indians I'm sure you probably never heard of. I'll have to bring it over sometime. I'll have to dig it out. Yeah. But I mean, I've got Joe Carter and Corey Snyder.
Joe Carter kind of obscure. He's
Yeah, I meant some of the names you might recognize.
Name baseball player in history.
He was definitely.
I don't think he's not a Hall of Famer. Right?
No.
Did he?
I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame.
We're probably both wrong, but anyway, I don't think so. But yeah, Joe Carter's. I mean.
He hit the walk-off home run to win the World Series in Toronto.
Yeah. Not for us.
After his Cleveland years, yeah.
And that's how I think that's where he got his biggest names was in Toronto. I think it's Joe Carter,
right. Yeah, because I mean he put up good numbers here, hit a bunch of home runs.
Yeah, he put up good numbers.
You're losing 100 some games a year, and nobody cares.
It's every it's how that happens. Since what's it? God, the pitcher, the big dude that pitched for the Yankees, CC Sabathia. Yeah. Had great years here. Right. Had greater years in New York. Right. And he got famous because he was a Yankee. Yeah. He wore the pinstripes, so his name was marketing, which is crazy. Cleveland is yes, they're a small market. People say I hate the term small market. Well, Cleveland is a small market based on exposure. Right. If you're not if you're not an elite talent like a Lindor, nobody's gonna know you. Right.
Well, even like Kyrie Irving, he averaged 20-some points a game his first couple years here in Cleveland, but really didn't blow up in stature until LeBron came, and that's when he really became well known around the league as a star player.
Well, when you're not winning, you're not getting the media attention, and that's what we were saying. Exactly. So until you start winning, nobody knows who you are. Right. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Thanks, Ruben. Appreciate it. Ruben said good stuff.
We try, we do a little bit here, a little bit here and there. But that's enough with baseball. Let's go to some football. There's some football news here.
What the hell?
What happened to Naked Lady?
We got a comment on our live feed. Charles Lee Ray said, "My ex cheated on me. Help me call her and remind her how trash she is. Her name is Isa." And then there's a phone number.
Yeah, that's not happening, dude.
Sorry, buddy. That's not what we do here.
This was like Maury Povich.
Yeah. Good luck to you with that, but it's not something we do.
It's probably shit like this that caused her to cheat on you. Alright? Man the fuck up. But,
Alright, so we got some stuff jotted down here.
We got the preseason, the preseason got canceled, which is, I think, It's for the best.
Is it official now? I know RG3 kind of broke the news on Twitter.
Yeah, I think they're canceled the last two. It's on up there. It's gonna be official. I don't know if it's 100% official, but it's
gonna be.
It's gonna happen.
Just a formality.
Yeah. Which I think is for the best, to be honest with you, because it gives these teams more practice time. In preseason, who's going to play those 2 games anyway? Nobody.
Exactly.
So what would they going to do? Nothing. You're just possible risk for depth.
I think the whole Jadeveon Clowney thing is finally over with. They restructured Levier Vernon's contract. He's now going to make $11 million guaranteed. Could make possible 13 with incentives. I think from what I heard, the Browns were tired of
waiting
on Clowney to decide. I mean, they made supposedly the biggest money offer. They made him a 1-year deal and then a multi-year deal. So if he wanted to come here, he would have accepted it.
That's not necessarily true. Like, just because he didn't take it doesn't mean he doesn't.
But you can't wait forever.
No, you can't wait forever. But what the hell else are you going to do? Who else are you signing? Nobody.
Well, Everson Griffin was the only other guy that was mentioned, but obviously there's not much interest there, maybe on either side.
Well, I think. What do you think of the Vernon deal? Do you think it's a smart move?
What's that?
The Vernon deal?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still worried about his injury history. I mean, when he's healthy, there's no doubt he's a very talented player. And I want to see him 100% healthy with Myles Garrett.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because we didn't get to see it maybe for 1 or 2 games last year before he started getting back.
You want to know why I think Vernon did the deal?
Why?
Because now he has guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Before he had nothing guaranteed. He can get cut and not get nothing.
And he's got a no-tag clause in there, too, which guarantees he becomes an unrestricted free agent after this year.
So he gets $11 million.
So it'll be 1 year, and he'll be gone.
He's guaranteed $11 million. Yep. So if they cut him, they're still on the hook for $11 million. So I think it was smart of him. They frees up $4 million for us, for Cleveland, which they could throw at whoever they want to.
And supposedly they're not interested in any of the linebackers that are out there.
There's really nothing available.
Clay Matthews is the only one, but that's the obvious ties with his dad.
And that's just I don't know. That's like a.
I mean, he might have been serviceable for 1 year. I mean, he had 8 sacks last year, so he's still a decent player, but not in the mold of what they're looking for. They're going to go with the young guys.
I think they want to see the young guys, and they want to see what they have before they go into...
Right. They're pretty high on Jacob Phillips, the guy they drafted out of LSU. So. And
they're high on...
they want to see what Taki can do.
They're also high on, what's his name?
Oh, Mac Wilson.
Yeah. Wilson. They're high on Wilson.
Yes, they've got some good young talent. It's just a matter of if they develop into what they're hoping they develop into.
And we'll see. Taki needs to show something. Being a 3rd-round pick,
Yeah, it's time. He needs to step it up
and
win a starting job this year.
Yeah, because I think he's gonna have a starting job regardless, because it's just gonna be the draft position. To be honest with you, I think that's gonna push him in the starting job regardless. But he needs to step it up, because he's not pulling what a 3rd-round draft pick should be pulling right now. So
no, definitely not.
And then
so the question is, are we gonna see football this year? There's a lot of rumors going around right now. I know it seems like they're pushing. Something weird happened this past week. So Jerry Snodgrass is the head of the Ohio Athletic Commission, and he was fired after 15 years. The guy, from all accounts, has done a great job. I know that there was a lot of praise for him. A lot of angry people.
I don't know.
Lashing out when
was he fired or did he step down?
He was fired, but from what I heard, he was making plans for the high school season to take place. He was fired, and then a representative said that they have had no discussions about a high school season taking place to this point, which it's July. I kind of find that hard to believe. It seems like they're pushing to cancel the high school season, fall sports.
Well, the Ivy League
now you got NCAA, the Ivy League has canceled their fall sports, so no football.
Big Ten's only playing.
And supposedly the ACC is also going to do that as well.
Conference only
conference, so 9 or 10 games.
So if they're only playing conference, what about playoffs and bowl games?
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. But Gene Smith, I heard him interviewed today, and he said about a month ago he was pretty optimistic that they were going to have a season. He said right now he's not feeling good about it at all.
But they're not going to lose. They shouldn't lose the eligibility, right? They'll keep this year's.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. If the whole season was wiped out, I can't see how.
And it's not theirs for they didn't sit out or whatever. This is your guys.
It's not their decision, right?
You guys chose to say, you know what, you're not playing. So this is what you're gonna go with.
So who knows? And then I guess the Ravens announced they're gonna have 14,000 fans for the opener against the Browns. If fans are allowed, that's the plan. And all the season tickets are being pushed back to 2021. I know the Browns contacted all the season ticket holders and told them, I guess they can either get a refund or push them out to 2021, because if they have fans, it's going to be single game tickets.
So season ticket holders.
Yeah, no season tickets for this season at all.
Just wait, first come, first serve.
Right.
Well, I would probably just push it back then. To be honest with you, push it back and then just buy a couple games here and there.
Yeah.
But are they gonna see this thing? Are they gonna gouge the prices? Like, how are they gonna try to recoup some money by adding an extra $20-$30 per ticket? Like,
right.
What are they gonna do? I mean,
Gary Conway said, "Go Raiders, AFC Championship this year."
Who?
Raiders.
No, who?
Oh, Gary Conway.
Who the fuck's that?
He's one of our followers.
Dude, I don't have the computer. You do all that stuff. You just talk about messages.
Yeah.
I don't know these names.
You don't have to know. It's just somebody who's tuned in.
Like, you looked at me like I'm supposed to know this. So you're like, dude, Gary Conway just said
go
Raiders.
No, he's the owner of Rapid Wrestling.
Okay. Nah, dude, Raiders ain't doing nothing this year. I'm sorry. Like, that ain't happening. I really don't think they're making it out of.
I think they'll be better, but.
Yeah, well, better is not AFC champs.
No.
There's no way in hell you're getting past the Ravens,
the Chiefs,
in your division alone.
Right.
And then the Bills.
Bills are gonna be tough.
Yeah, the Texans aren't gonna be as good as they were. They lost.
No.
When you lose DeAndre Hopkins, you can't replace DeAndre Hopkins with Brandon Cooks and think you're gonna be.
Well, they got Laramie Tunsil. They traded last year.
Yeah, well, they beefed up their line, but
right.
They have David Johnson too, but
he's washed up.
Yeah, he's injury prone. You don't know what he's gonna get.
Right.
And I just don't think it's gonna be. The Titans could be. I mean, they're one game away from the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, if Tannehill can play like he did last year.
And you got AJ Brown.
No reason I
season
can't.
On there,
and they're still in on Clowney too. Now it's between the Titans and the.
Well, the Raiders offered a contract.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they offered a contract. I don't think it's as high as what has been offered, but it's been offered.
Yeah, I kept hearing it was the Titans, Browns, and.
Well, yeah, those were the three.
Seahawks
and
were
then
the
Raiders randomly came out of nowhere and offered a contract to him, and I don't think it's a landing spot because I think literally the three teams that were in him have been his destination choice. I think Cleveland was because of the Garrett and the representation. Tennessee because he played against Tennessee for twice a year for years, you know. And
Gary said Raiders versus Titans AFC Championship.
See, I'm a big Titans fan. I don't even know they're gonna get a bad guy. Like, to be honest with you, like I don't see like. So I don't know, man.
What do you think of Mr. Mahomes' new contract?
I don't know, man. It's $500 million, dude.
10 years, $500 million.
Dude, that's like a baseball contract. When I heard that shit, I was like, 10
I know.
years?
It's like
I was like, who the hell are you, Mike Trout? And I was like...
So I was about to say, it's like a Mike Trout contract.
I was like, okay. But, like, I did like this. It's a percentage, right? It's a percentage of the salary cap or X amount of money.
Yeah.
So the salary cap goes way up. They're always going to keep them under 20% of the cap, or 18 or 19%. So it's managed to the point where his contract's not going to become like $60 million fucking dollars a year.
Right.
You know, it's going to be 44 or.
Well, that's smart. So you keep that team together.
10 years, and then it's 10 years. Like that contract's not going to last 10 years.
No.
Because if he doesn't win in the next three, if he doesn't win Super Bowl in the next 3 years, they go deep the next 3 years. They're going to start talking restructure. They're gonna start talking, okay, guy.
Yep. Restructure, or we have to move on.
Or if he goes and wins another 2 Super Bowls, because did you hear what who's that big LeBron supporter, basketball beat writer, bald, like light skinned, Nick Nick Wright.
Yeah, Nick Wright.
He's like LeBron's balls are here in his throat.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big LeBron supporter too,
Yeah.
but the dude like he swallowed LeBron. Right. He said that Mahomes is a Hall of Famer already.
Really?
They just have one Super Bowl win. He's a great
that's...
player. He's probably he's the face of the NFL right now. Yes, but he's not a Hall of Famer. There's no way in hell. Nick Foles has a Super Bowl. I mean, no. I mean, you
do it for him 4 or 5 more years.
You have an MVP and a Super Bowl win doesn't make you a Hall of Famer. No. He's far from it. He's probably two. If he wins two more Super Bowls in the next 3 to 4 years, Hall of Fame.
Then you can talk.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Especially if he's MVP candidate each of those years. He's passing for 4,000 yards each year. If he wins 2 more Super Bowls and he's averaging 4,400 yards each season, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
100%. I'll put this house on it. Like that's how confident I am. But his contract just I don't know, it blew me out of the water. I was like,
yeah, that was insane. I couldn't believe that.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, dude. I was like, you're not even Brady. Never even got paid that much. It's like Brady understood the concept of team sport, right? So he got his, but he made sure not to go to a level where the team didn't have the money to put talent and places people around him so he could compete every year.
Right.
Mahomes like, I want $1 billion.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give you $500 million.
$500 million.
Well, that's close enough.
That's good.
$500 million. Dude, who the fuck are you, dude? You're one torn ACL away from being dick.
Right.
Like nothing. Man, what's sad though, the highest contract ever in Matt Ryan's, is only $10 million. His is only his guaranteed money. His guaranteed money, not the contract itself, but his guaranteed money is $10 million shorter than the max contract of Matt Ryan.
Wow.
$140 million guaranteed.
Everybody's not looking at the guaranteed money. Everybody's looking at the.
And he only guaranteed $140 million.
Right.
The rest of it is all incentives and just if he's there for the full amount of his contract. So if he gets hurt right now, they only owe him $140 million out of $500 million.
Right.
Okay, you're not a $500 million guy. You're a $250 million guy.
Right.
Or $50 billion.
Gary said Titans should beat KC if they run Henry Moore.
That's how we won. I mean, if you looked at the AFC Championship last year, we opened up that game and we just boom, 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 no. And then Mike Vrabel and Tannehill's like, I got this.
Yeah.
No, dude, run with dreadlocks, all right? Just grab those fucking things and just ride them to the fucking Super Bowl.
Right.
They didn't do that. They stepped away.
Yeah.
Run the ball. That's how you beat Lamar Jackson because you kept him off the field. That's how you beat Patrick Mahomes. You keep him off the field. You let him on the field, you're going to come. I don't care if you're down 28-0. He proved that's not a fucking problem. Because Houston was up 28-0. And he's like, oh yeah, hold my Gatorade. Came back and won that shit.
Yeah, because if you've got Tannehill throwing the ball 30 to 40 times a game, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and you're not Patrick Mahomes. You're not Aaron
He's
Rodgers.
a game manager.
He's a little bit more than that in this system. He's a little more than that. Like, you run the ball. Run the ball. Make them stack the box. Make them commit to the run. And then boom, right across the middle, short slants, hook and go. Just you can beat them over top then because they're gonna bite. You can't just go run the ball and be like, throw, and they're like, got you, bitch. No,
right?
Because then that far you're too far behind. Now you can't run the ball. Now you have to throw the ball to play catch up, and you're out of your element, you're out of your game. That's like I know what I'm talking about. Like, what the fuck?
So did you see? Fran Mil Reyes had to stay away from the team because he went to a 4th of July party without a mask on.
I hate this place.
It was only for one day. He had to pass two COVID tests before he could come back. But he's back with the team now, and Delino DeShields Jr., who tested positive, is over it, and he's back as well. But
I had an appointment today, so today was off. Do you know how DeWine put up that 7-county mandate mask?
Yeah.
Well, I had an appointment to get a recall done on my truck. They said to do some kind of software update.
All right.
So it's in Strongsville, which is Kyle County. So I pull up in there, not thinking anything. I live in Portage. Well, I got a haircut yesterday, so I had the mask that I have to wear sometimes at work with me still. So it was in my truck. So today I got my truck and it's like mandatory masks. Oh, that's right, I'm in Collinsville County. Yeah. So I go into this building wearing this stupid mask. Tell me why you're going to have a sign that says masks mandatory, but every motherfucker wearing the mask and their employee has their nose out or is just hanging from
Exactly.
You having your nose hang out is like walking around with your dick out your fly.
Right.
Yeah, you're wearing pants, but your peckers like flapping in the wind. Like,
right. I see people walking around the grocery store with it down around. Like, what's the point?
Don't wear it. There's no point to wear it.
Exactly.
It's like poking a hole in a condom.
I honestly don't think they help anyways, but that's just my
certain one. I mean, it limits a percentage of whatever.
Small percentage.
But it's not gonna be like. It's like poking a hole in a condom.
Like Gary said, but Edgewater had 1,200 people and no masks.
Yeah. It's like poking a hole in a condom and putting on them. Yeah, we're protected.
Right.
No, you're not. You were 100% not protected. But whatever. If that makes you feel better about yourself, that it's on your mouth.
Yeah, I think it's more for peace of mind for people.
It's all it is. It is to make people feel comfortable, but it's bullshit because like.
Yeah, I could go on with this for hours. And
this whole COVID thing, like it's literally like. It's blown way out of proportion, in my opinion.
Yeah. Is it real? Yes, but it's not as bad as they're making it out to be.
All these brand new tests and shit. It's because people are getting fucking tested, dude. It's because of
right.
Like
there's a spike in cases. Exactly. You're doing more testing. There's going to be more cases.
No, they're like, well, it's not because of that.
But the death rate is way down. That's what.
Fuck is it about? Yeah, your hospitalization's down, your death rate's down, but your positive tests are down. I wonder why. Because more people are going testing. Like I just like, dude.
Well, that's what the one reporter today asked DeWine. He said you got all these counties marked yellow, orange. Like some of these counties like have low amount of cases. Some of these counties have had 0 deaths. Why are you causing the panic? Like, and he pretty much danced around it. It wouldn't.
Yeah, because you know why? He's trying to be this big fucking Cape Crusader shield. Like I'm DeWine. I protected Ohio.
Right.
Because in 4 years, you know. He's running for president. Mark my fucking words. In the next 8 years...
God help us.
In the next 8 years, DeWine will be running for president. I'll mark my words. And he's like, remember what I did it for Ohio? Yeah, you fucked everything up because you got pussied and backed in the wall by this little doctor who... Amy fucking...
Acton, yeah.
Acton.
She's gone now.
Who had your balls in
her
front.
Had to resign.
Yeah, I wonder why. Because she's retarded and she tried to make some bullshit up. Like, she tried to force some shit. He's like,
I thought it was funny the other day that one reporter asked him about, with him mandating masks, about getting sued over it. And he goes, I have 6 lawsuits against me right now from the state of Ohio.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. It's a mess.
Yeah, I'm a Republican. He's a Republican, but I don't like half the shit he's doing. All right? Just because we're in the same...
Yeah, he doesn't seem like a Republican.
No, same political party, but...
Now, I guess, Summit County, where I work, it's mandatory 6 p.m. starting tomorrow, 6 p.m.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we have to wear them.
Summit?
Yeah, Summit. Because I guess Akron, there's a big breakout in Akron, so that's what's driving that. Yeah, they're moving into the red.
Is town leader in Summit?
I think it is, yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I am wearing a mask.
After 6 p.m. tomorrow. I mean, even he said we're not gonna be arresting people.
The cops aren't gonna be coming. They already multiple cities have came out and said, don't call 911 because someone's not wearing a mask. We're not responding. Call the health department.
Right.
That's who mandates this.
Right. I've heard him say we're not going to be the mask police.
No, I have better things than the dude that's robbing a bank or killing somebody.
Well, the one that kills me is Cleveland. Frank Jackson. Did you hear what he did? If you're in a car with another person, you have to have a mask on, even if it's a relative.
Fuck you, no.
If not, you can be pulled over and fined $85.
No, you can't.
Are you kidding me? That's what everybody was joking about. Like, where was he when people were rioting downtown? You didn't hear nothing from the mayor. And now all of a sudden, he comes out with this fucking stupid ass mandate.
Fuck him. I hope he gets hit by one of those cars. Gets pulled over.
It's unreal. It's crazy. But
the leadership in this fucking state is just asinine. It's fucking
not
asinine.
good. But we'll
soft.
see what happens.
It's soft.
Hopefully, we get our baseball season underway and get a little distraction from all this shit.
Oh, they're gonna go out there wearing fucking hazmat suits, dude. It's gonna look like episode of Walking Dead.
No, that was the other thing. I guess NFL, if they allow fans have to wear masks in the seats.
I thought they had to sign a waiver so they didn't want.
No, I heard they said today that Daryl Ryder on his update said that they'll have to wear masks. Fans.
How the fuck am I supposed to eat or drink? Bite me. I ain't wearing no damn mask. I'll cut a fucking hole in that motherfucker. Let's draw right to that bitch. I
You're gonna have to.
But
all right,
yeah.
You got anything else? We had a pretty good show tonight, I think.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, you just ate right before the show.
I'm
You was
fat.
chowing down, like minutes before the show.
I'm fat.
You had a plate in front of him, just
I'm
shoveling it in.
And not the PHAT time, not the FAT. Feed me time.
All right. Well, next week we're trying to line up a guest. We'll let everybody know. There's a couple of them we're possibly working on.
We'll see.
Makes the show a lot funner.
Yeah, especially with not much.
Yeah, with nothing going on right now, there's not much to talk about, so it helps to have a fresh voice, a professional fresh voice to fill us in on what's going on.
For sure.
All right, guys. Till next week. We will talk to you later.